Hello, Padawans, Acolytes, and Knights, and we are continuing on our series of me teaching you guys how to work every lightsaber we own. We are now working on our two-button baselit, which works a bit differently, but still pretty similar to our other ones. But for starters, this is our Ren lightsaber. This is the demonstration I'm going to be using today. And we shall start with how you get to the power source. So this is getting more towards what most of them are going to be like. You just untwist it. Most of ours are like this. You just find where the hole is, and that's where you put your USB-C. When we hit this, you have to do USB to USB-C. If you do USB-C to USB-C, it's not going to charge, which we've had a lot of people say that theirs don't work because they're doing C to C. So it does have to be USB to USB-C. But we shall put the handle back on. So one of the fun things about this lightsaber is it comes with this little guy right here, which is a belt clip. Well, attaches to a belt clip, which you can also get on our store. And now for the buttons. For this guy, the top button is going to be your power button. The bottom one's going to be the aux button. So we just press hold that. And now it is on. If you just tap the top button, it turns it on. You will notice that these are a lot brighter than the ones we've been using. That's because this is where all the light comes from. The ones we've been using have LEDs all the way throughout, and so it is brighter overall, and it looks better on camera. But these ones, when the light isn't in those other ones, then they're a bit dimmer because it's only going off the ones in the hilt. But for these guys, all the light is coming from right there, and so without the lightsaber, well, the saber part, it is still pretty bright. For this guy, the power button doesn't do much other than just turn it on. And so we'll go over to the aux button. Just tapping it. That's how you change color. There you go, there's a different color. And then holding it. Unstable blade. So you have different blade types. They're gonna be as smooth, I'll say, and you're not gonna get as many as the other ones. But we still do get blade types for this. And then I kind of demonstrated it for later, but there's that. The main reason why the power button doesn't have as much to do right now is because there's not different ignition types for these. That's one of the bigger differences. The ones with the LEDs all the way throughout, they get ignition types because it can change it with the LEDs. This one, since it is all coming from the base, it doesn't have different ignition types. But which I'll move to when it is on. So again, power button doesn't do a whole lot. But for the aux button, if you just tap it, it does the shooting, like you're blocking. If you hold it, then that's where you get the electricity. And these do come with motion control, but it's not as smooth. You can still just do that with turning them on. Okay. And then you can also do the aux button and twist. And you'll notice that the light is switching. That's another way of changing color. They don't have the lightsaber grinding from like the LEDs, but that's the 2-button lightsaber. I hope this was helpful. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Well, editing Tristan here. I forgot to show how to do volume and how to turn it off. So for volume, you just press both buttons at the same time.
Power.
There you go.
40%.
So I'm going to show it again. You put your fingers on both buttons and then press at the same time, and you'll hear that beep. That the power button will turn the volume
80%. 60%.
while the aux button will turn it lower.
50%. 40%.
And then for it to go back to normal, you just press it again. And then to turn the whole thing off, you have to have it in what is called standby mode. So blade's not on, but you can still, it is still technically on. And you go to the aux button and you quickly tap it 3 times.
Layer. Power off.
A few times, but it did turn off. So
power on.
Just hold the power button to turn it on, and then press the aux button 3 times to turn it off.
Power off.
I had some trouble with it. I usually end up doing what's just happened of changing the blade, but then eventually turning it off. It's common. If it happens to you, it should be fine. But that is how you turn it off. And I hope this was helpful.